Yeah, big up my 1T family, big up Reeves, big up all the crew. I'm 1T too.
Yeah, come
on. Which we love all that, you know, I mean, no bias in this, of course, people. With it's something like a pay to play, I suppose, with graffiti, the way it's slowly morphed itself into becoming, like, it's an expensive lifestyle, hobby.
Yeah,
You know.
I've always got money for paint now.
Have you?
Yeah, I think someone once asked me if I rack my paint because I paint so much. They were like, how the fuck do you afford this all the time? But I just literally always have money for paint.
Really?
I've always got some paint there. Again, sometimes like Izzy or Curtis might have given me like a load of scraps that they don't want or whatever, but I've always got paint.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Yes, people, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, central London, or central as you need to be, choose to be, desire to be. You don't want to be anywhere else. Yeah, big shout out to the shares and carers. People have been clocking for the jump, been minding their business, enjoying 500, 600 plus podcasts. You are soldiers, and we admire you, so keep up the good work. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GK Nifty Heads of 10,000 play to earn Graph Punk's NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website gkniftyheads.com and play to earn now. Inside the house, we've got a foot soldier and a half. 3 years in the making, the build, oh my goodness. It's middle of England, I maybe call it Basingstoke, but we're more close towards Southampton by the sounds of it than I am. Yeah, it's 1T in the building. Hold tight. Wispa's in.
Yo, how you doing, Killa?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me come down here tonight.
Bless you. No, it's absolutely my pleasure. I mean, dude, like, you've only been doing it for such a short period of time. This is the biggest question I have. How the hell have you gone so quick into technical abilities? What's that about?
Hey, look, I've had some amazing teachers, and I've always loved art. So my first kind of taste with graffiti was my auntie buying me subway art when I was 10 years old for a Christmas present. Whoa. And ever since I saw that, I see Lady Pink and I always felt like, I don't know, like she was just wicked, right? Mm-hmm. I've always loved illustration. I've always loved old school cartoons and drawing, and like old like arcade games, like Pac-Man and stuff. So I've always appreciated graph. I first saw like graffiti like a lot when I did a semester abroad at university.
Mm-hmm. What university did you go to?
So I went to Winchester School of Art and I did illustration and graphic art. But luckily,
that's the trick, that's the trick.
And luckily I got to do a semester abroad in Barcelona, which was sick. And yeah, basically in COVID, two of my very good friends, Sama and Dime, they kind of took me under their wing. There was nothing to do, there was nowhere to go, but we still went out in the car, and I bought some spray cans. So yeah, my first Wispa piece I did was 2021, January. Whoa. Wet mulch on the walls, windy, rainy, basically, you know, not the best conditions, but that was it for me. I put my mind to it. And Dime, you know, taught me a lot, you know, and I started sketching different letters and whatnot, trying different things and going to different places, and I just loved it. It's a release, man. It's like, I don't think about anything when I'm painting. I'm just in the moment. I'm enjoying it, you know. Going to all these different spots through COVID, you know, going to like Denham, Hall of Fame, going to like Winnersh and Reading, all over the place, you know, London, like, yeah, that's how I started.
Wow, that's crazy. Dime, Sama. I mean, Sama is, I'm not going to big up Dime, but, you know, I just look at Sama, I'm just like, yeah. Just incredible layering, dynamics, the use of colour.
I know, he's amazing, right?
Yeah.
He's like my very good friend from college, and yeah, just credit him a lot. He's always, you know, wanted me to kind of do this, you know, and sort of egged me on and been like, yo, like try this and do that. So he's someone I look up to very much, and he's got amazing talent with the cans, honestly.
Yeah, for real. For real, big up Sama, big up Dime. the only from a point of view of Samer, then the likelihood was he'd cottoned on very early doors about your abilities pre-paint, you know. So there's clearly you were friends from the jump. But how did how did that nurturing process happen across COVID? What was the initial things that?
I mean, some of the things that I first painted before Wispa, I used to paint like cloud, like CLOUD, and I was kind of getting the hang of the cans and, you know, trying like little Pac-Man ghosts and things like that, getting my can control. And I remember one wall I did actually, and I ended up bumping into a girl. She writes Juice, so she's from kind of like near Milton Keynes sort
Big
of
up
way.
Juice, hold tight.
Yeah, big up. And it was just really cool because the more I was going out and doing different things and painting different walls, I was meeting different people on my journey, right? So she was the first other girl that I met, and she really like encouraged me and egged me on. So yeah, in terms of the kind of nurturing part, I think it was meeting different people along the way. And I think when you paint with people that you look up to and you really like their stuff, it makes you want to like paint good as well.
Yeah, for real.
In my spare time and stuff, I think apart from doing the walls, I was sort of drawing a lot and, you know, looking at different pieces and stuff online or in magazines. Because Dime gave me like a massive stack of like graffitism magazines. I was like looking at bits, I even see like Mute One in there, you know, and see him yesterday at Lakeside actually.
Yeah.
But like, just like always looking at things, always enjoying things, nature, art, music, not even necessarily graph, but like, you know, fine art as well.
Yeah.
So I love surrealism. So like, yeah, I don't know. It was just every weekend we would go out and we would paint through COVID. So we're talking like from 2021 January up until now, what are we, November 2024?
Yeah.
That's it, mate. I've been painting.
Yeah, and travelling as well.
Yeah.
Some madness mileage on your air flights. You know.
Yeah.
How did it, if you're on lockdown and you've been held back, restrained, you've certainly clocked in some miles.
Oh, yeah, no, that was quite funny, actually. We just get the boys to put the high vises on and say they were key workers, and we got pulled over, but we didn't, so that was always a good touch.
Classic power moves there.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, it was wicked. From COVID, yeah, I love painting Lakeside. That's my favourite place to paint in this country. And the good thing about where I'm from is it's quite central to get to everywhere.
That's what I was saying. It is. It's almost like you're dead in the centre of England, at least the south of England, and you're able to just move. And I had no idea how close like Swindon, Bristol, and Southampton were to you.
Yeah, literally. A lot of people I've met think I'm from Bristol because I paint a lot there. I've got a lot of friends there. Was thinking about moving there at one point, maybe at some point in the future. But right now I've got my base and I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to get to wherever. You know, 2 hours from Milton Keynes, an hour and a half from Bristol, an hour for London, 50 minutes.
It's all.
So,
Yeah, it's all
so that's why
network.
I am where I am. I spend when I go to Bristol, I love to paint with my RBF girls. Big up RBF.
What RBF? There it is.
That I met by complete chance when I was painting in Northampton at Wall Games Festival.
Nice.
The last one they did.
Wicked Lucky, wicked. No, come on, War Games is the one.
Oh,
man.
it was wicked. Not
Yeah.
too far from like Child Governor and Zombie, and it was wicked.
The Donnies, the
yeah.
Donnies.
Yeah, it was really good. Like a really good day. I painted with two of my good friends, Recon and Enoch. I went with those two boys and we did like an Ed and Eddie wall. But around the corner were all of the RBF Bristol girls. So I feel like, you know, Loki maybe put me near them or something. I don't know, but it was like chance or whatever. But it was really special, you know, sort of chatted to them, which was really cool. We just sort of linked up after that. They invited me down to Bristol like that Christmas, and then they put me in the crew. So yeah, that was the rest is history, really.
That's mad. Lots of countries.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of countries as well.
Yeah. So my first proper graph holiday was end of January last year. It was in Barcelona. So that was like 4 or 5 days of just pure painting. and that was with Rambo, Cola, and the last one, Big Up.
Nice.
Um,
Big 'em up. Big up.
That's a really, really good
You know
one.
it.
We made friends with Daya, who runs the Sagrada Familia paint shop. So a lot of people, when they go Barcelona, they'll go to like the Montana shop, but he's got all the loop. So I like using loop,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I love loop, and I like Montana, I like Belton, like I like it all, but mainly loop. So we go there, and he showed us a couple of spots, and we bumped into one of our other friends, Scott, and he's Hungarian, but he was on holiday with his friends. So
Nice.
yeah, we just like bumped into him in Barcelona. I've done Berlin. I've painted at a festival in Switzerland in the mountains. I've painted in Miami, in Wynwood. But these are like holidays. So if I go on a holiday, I'll tie it in.
Just find a paint shop.
Exactly. Like I was in like Australia like earlier this year, which was wicked, for like a 3-week like to a month holiday. So I get to Brisbane, the day after I'm still pretty jet lagged, but I went straight to the paint shop, Crush City. And yeah, it was wicked. Did about 9 walls in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is work rate. It really is. And if you connect, like you say, if you connect it with your extra, you know, holiday activities, then it's blessed. But you know, to have achieved so much in such a reasonably short period of time, I mean, how do you process that? You know, in context of where you thought your journey would be going, because you know you were into the whole rave club culture. Or rather, I'm telling you, she just told me that you were in the drum and bass culture, and this
Yeah.
was a very different lifestyle compared to now, which has accelerated.
I feel like graffiti's always in the background with things. I mean, even like kind of like squat parties and raves and whatnot, you might see little bits and bobs of graffiti, right? And graffiti goes hand in hand with hip hop. It goes hand in hand with skateboarding. It's all over skate parks. And I've grown up, you know, hanging out at skate parks, skating a little bit, like nothing special at all, but like it's nice to channel my energy into that. Something where I feel creative in my heart, and for me, when I paint a wall, it's like a diary entry to me. It's how I'm feeling at the time. I said to myself at the start of last year I was going to try and paint a lot more characters, and that's what I like doing now. Now I'm loving anime, Sailor Moon, like all of the stuff that's very nostalgic for me. So when I paint it, it's kind of like my inner child. It's kind of like that joy, you know. I've never really started this to kind of like, I don't know, I haven't done it to kind of see where it takes me. I've just done it because it's felt right to me, you know. So I've been very fortunate to have travelled and got to enjoy that, because I like to paint and take in the environment I'm painting at, you know, be it at the harbour at Barcelona, you know, Port Forum, be it, you know, in Brisbane at Tingalpa, you know, meeting amazing Australian writers, and just really taking in that scenery.
Yeah,
I
I
think
get
it's
you.
quite nice to, when you take your photo at the end of it, to remember that and remember that time and that place, because that's a part of it as well. So
Jungle drum and bass, those raves, that era, that that can be quite tricky. But you know, when you're travelling and going to those more seedier, off the beaten track places, shall we say, that can get a bit tricky too. Have you ever experienced anything such as that?
yeah, I mean, sometimes we can all find it hard to get off the party bus, right? But I think that's why now I really like to channel my energy into my graph and my art. It's like art therapy to me.
But does it ever get tricky in graph, like when you're, in a disused, quarry somewhere in the middle of Spain?
I've never actually had any problems. The only kind of problem I've been in a pretty like shitty situation was at Unigate, actually.
Unigate?
Yeah, some weird shit went down there, but I'd rather not go into that.
Really?
Yeah, not to me personally, but yeah, just some weird people rocked up and stuff. It was all blessed, but
Really?
yeah, man, that's the only time I've ever been there when something weird's gone down when I'm painting at a wall.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Unigate. I've been there once.
Yeah. I haven't been in ages, to be fair. I don't know if it's still a thing or... Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's still popping.
Yeah.
But it's so off the beaten track. I mean, I guess if you lived there, it's different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know. Winner's Triangle, though. I mean, there's some Donnies in that place. Wow.
Yeah.
Reading really hold the crown for a lot of great writers, don't they?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like the Berkshire lot are pretty good writers, definitely. It's good to see the big walls there. I mean, I've painted it a few times. I prefer to kind of paint kind of near there, but not too near there. But for me, I love Bristol, man. I love painting
Is
Bristol.
that your favourite, right?
Bristol's up there for me, or Lakeside. They're
Yeah.
my two favourites. So yesterday, had an amazing time actually. I painted with Urge, Score, Horror, Pines, Kushti, and Shy. So nice
Jeez.
big group of us.
Yeah, like-
oh, and Reeks as well. So
Some OGs in that
yeah,
lineup.
people that I've again seen their graph at Lakeside, always wanted to paint. To be fair, my second Wispa wall I did was at Lakeside next to Score. With Curtis, Samer, Dime, Nerks was there as well. Big up
God.
Nerks.
Boy.
So it's like from the get-go, it's been people I've looked up to, and I've been, very lucky, had the opportunity to paint with them, and that's really kind of inspired me.
Do you think some of this is synergy and opening up your heart to something that you love, and that is received in a particular way? Because these people you're talking about, they don't readily paint with anybody. There's got to be some dynamism going on there. Like, is it what you let off as energy?
I don't know. I've been told that I've got a special energy about me. I don't know. I think you get what you give in life sometimes, so you attract things that you want. And also having mutual friends as well is quite cool, because I know, Curtis and Dime know Score quite well, and I was going to buy a book off of Score. I had no idea Nerks was coming to the wall, but we're driving to Lakeside and, we see him carrying his stuff. He gets in the car with us, bang, that's a friend there.
Yeah,
And now he's gone so far with his tattooing and painting in Mexico. Like, he's literally smashes
Yeah,
it
he
out of the
smashed it big up
park.
Nerks, yeah.
That his style is incredible.
And all their cell lot, killer.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, very lucky. Sometimes complete chance, some of the writers I've met, which is wicked. Or if I really want to do a wall with someone, I'll just message them and we make it happen. So it's nice. I'm in quite a few crew. Well, I'm in obviously 1T.
Yeah.
And I met Izzy. Big up Izzy.
Yeah, big up, Izzy.
I met Izzy painting in Wembley. Have you ever been to Wembley Wall?
Yeah, I have,
yeah. I haven't been
Oh.
there in ages. I think the last time I went there, it's a little bit flooded, actually. I stood back and I had a wet foot for the whole day.
Okay.
Yeah, not too nice. But met her by complete chance, which was wicked. And she's been like a sister to me. I've got a lot of time for her.
She's
a
awesome.
sick writer. She
Yeah.
can do bevel, she can do roller, she can do characters.
Serious
She
writer.
bosses it hard and trains whatever you want,
everything.
yeah.
Kills it.
So, like, that's how I met Izzy. She introduced me to Spat.
Big up, Spat.
Yeah, big up Spat. And I've painted with them quite a bit. Obviously, Reach and Reeves. And, yeah, they put me in one time, which is awesome. So
Yeah,
I've got
big
my
up Reach.
London crew. I've got my Bristol crew, the RBF girls. I've got, my Leighton Buzzard boys, like the THS crew, Anger, Ones, Merca, Enoch. Yeah, it's nice. So it's nice to have crews around the country, but I don't actually live in those places.
Yeah, that's
So I can
something
sort of
else.
Dip in and
I've
out.
always got a family. Yeah, big up my 1T family. Big up Reeves. Big up all the crew. 'Cause I'm 1T too.
Yeah, come
which we love
on.
all that. No bias in this, of course, people. With it's something like a pay to play, I suppose. With graffiti, the way it's slowly morphed itself into becoming, like, it's an expensive lifestyle, hobby.
Yeah,
You know.
I've always got money for paint now.
Have you?
Yeah, I think someone once asked me if I rack my paint because I paint so much. They were like, how the fuck do you afford this all the time? But I just literally always have money for paint.
Really?
I've always got some paint there. Again, sometimes like, Izzy or Curtis might have given me like a load of scraps that they don't want or whatever, but I've always got paint. I
Really?
get it off a friend or I order it from Al Fresco or the
Yeah.
bench. Big up the bench.
Yeah.
Big up Al Fresco. It's something I've always got. I'll always have paint.
Really?
There's only been a couple of times since I've started where I've literally had no paint, but I've always got some paint somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. And when I put an order in, I like to plan like 3 walls.
Really?
Have 3 colour schemes that I want to hit.
So how much do you sketch then?
As often as I can, really. I normally have quite a few like different outlines that I try. A big inspiration to me is a guy that I met years ago when I was walking down Leek Street. I was like sort of like college sort of time, and obviously, like Leek Street, wow, graffiti, like everywhere, like it's so cool. And he was there, and he was over from the Netherlands, and he was with his mum, like this like older lady. And I stopped, and I hadn't actually properly ever seen someone live painting a graffiti wall. And I started talking to him, and I followed him. This is before I painted, and years later when I've started, I followed him again, and I messaged him, and I went, yo, I got on the graffiti, I started painting.
Whoa.
And he sort of, he showed me kind of his sort of style, and I sort of was like, wow, man, because I love that Euro sort of style, yeah? Sort of started sketching letters, not kind of biting, but kind of like, it was like really giving me something, like inspiring me. And he's called Reach, and he's
Reach,
a writer
yeah.
from the Netherlands.
Nice.
And yeah, massive inspiration to me. Also, another big inspiration to me is Miss Motel. She's from South Africa.
Okay.
But I've painted with
I'm
her.
going to Google that, with the Google crew.
Yeah, 40HK crew.
Okay.
Yeah, they're wicked.
Okay.
And
I've heard of them.
I've painted with Amok and Ruse recently, top guys. But yeah, she's massive inspiration to me. Her sad girl characters are like amazing. Swirly letters, like. So yeah, I mean,
How do you keep up? How do you keep up with? Because you're intercontinental. How do you keep up with what's going on in all these countries?
I don't know. I live for it, mate. Honestly.
And I thought I had a hard time. Like,
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah, I live for it, honestly. I just get excited when I'm looking at different colour schemes and seeing what people have been up to, and I'm like, wow, man, like, yeah, I live and breathe it. Like, It's for me, it's just how I kind of channel my energy.
Obsession.
Like I said, a healthy one, I'd like to think.
Healthy, but to what degree? Because something always suffers in our lives. Like, what's the offset? What's the thing that you probably say to yourself? Yeah, maybe I should pay more attention to that.
I think I had a bit of a rocky couple of months this year where I was not really feeling myself, had some personal life shit go down, family and whatnot, but things have kind of gotten better now, which is really good. And it's a way, like I said earlier, it's a release. It's how I deal with my shit. It's my thing that I feel happy after I've done it.
That's
at
so
that
cool.
point, at that time, I don't think about anything. It's just me and that wall.
I think a
It's
lot
an
of people
extension.
resonate with that.
It's an extension of myself on the wall.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do wacky, crazy fills and bubbles and like a lot of people go, oh, how the hell do you even start your fill? And it's like, I just work across it. Or sometimes no plan is the best plan, right? Because some of my favourite pieces I've painted, I just rock up with a load of colours and just have fun with it, It's wrong if you're not having fun with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you paint, I've been there and some people go, oh, I hate what I've done. I'm just it is what it is. Sometimes it's not perfect, and that's the beauty of graph. It doesn't always have to be perfect, does it really?
No.
I love painting clean. I love like making it look nice and pretty and that. But sometimes when I haven't even had a plan, I've just thought at the time, okay, we're going to do this. And then I look back and I go, cool, I'm well chuffed with that.
So you don't hate any of your stuff?
There's been a couple that I haven't really been so keen on, but normally I'm pretty happy every time.
How do you process that in your head? Because I, for one, and I dance like more out there watching, would almost certainly say, yeah, I struggle with that. I struggle with getting over the hump of like, my world's ended because that 3D was shit. Stuff like that.
I don't know, maybe I've just gotten better at letting things wash over me a little bit. I always like doing my 3D to the right. Just feels right.
Yeah.
But I want to try and get better, and what I'm trying to explore a little bit more at the minute within my 3D is like different shades of different colours to give it like depth. Or like I'm doing like chunks in my 3D. Normally rather I just do like a block colour or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the thing in my life that's just always made me smile and kept me happy.
You certainly come with like a new perspective when I see your stuff, you know, there's elements of influence in each one that's different, and that the variety in your stuff is also killer. You know, so which, like you say, if you're hanging around with greatness, you know, what could you possibly, you know, you absorb everything from the likes of Score and Pine and Samer. Like these names alone are just, you got to have your receptors on for every cornerstone of when they're telling you something, right?
Yeah, massively. Really, really nice to see Score yesterday. A real honour to paint with him. That's probably our third wall we've painted by each other. And even, you know, when I first started, him encouraging me and saying, you know, well, I like what you did and stuff, even though I was pretty shit. Like, it's nice, I think, when you have like people around you that encourage you.
I think it's nice when people see the progress. You know, you go back to them like 2 months later, 3 months later, a year later, and they see that progress. I think that's, you know, because that's their initial investment is proof that you were worth the investing in.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I like doing it for me. I'm not doing it to prove anything to anyone. I'm just enjoying painting and the journey and the people that I meet, you know. So next year we're going to do Barcelona again. I'm hoping to paint with one of my other inspirations, Musa. She's like the queen of Barcelona, and
Right,
like massive,
yeah.
like. And again, when I was out there and I painted, my picture on Instagram is that Badalona spot with the 3 chimneys. So she paints there a lot. With Harry Bones, yeah. So Musa, I want to get a wall in with Musa.
Crazy.
There's a lot of people I want to paint with, man. But, you know, when the time's right and stuff. Yeah.
What's Basingstoke or Berkshire? What's Basingstoke saying at the moment?
I don't know, really. I'm never really there, to be
Really?
honest.
Really?
Yeah, I'm everywhere but there.
Probably. I remember a few people from around there, but you know, there's so much more. The rural areas, you know, your Newberries and your, names will go on forever, but you know, High Wycombe.
Yeah.
Swindon,
That's
isn't
where
it?
my good friend Aloha, she's from there.
Yeah, it's just a lot of rural places which have like these kind of die-hard, you know, proactive scenes that like to travel and get into, you know, into the bigger towns and cities.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, Basingstoke's a London overspill town, and like I said, it's easy to get to anywhere from there, right? So it's just a good base, really.
How far's Aylesbury? Is that?
Aylesbury's about an hour and 20 from me. Yeah.
Man, so everything really is quite close-knit. Everything sounds to me like 45 minutes to an hour.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's how I go here, there and everywhere.
That's how you did it. And that's
Yeah.
how you did the raves back
Painted
in the
in
day?
Scotland as well, which was quite fun earlier this year. Yeah, did that bando, that St. Peter's Seminary. As well as graph, I like the airbex and that. I like going to abandoned places. Not always to paint, but sometimes just to take photos.
Yeah?
You know? Yeah, man. If there's graph already there, then fair. But, like, some places are, like, literally left behind, like a moment frozen in time.
Really? I heard there was a thing about that. There's a couple of writers that do that.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, and also someone that I really like his stuff as well as Sterling. Sterling is king. And I'll never forget being younger again. My dad took me to Meeting of Styles at Allen Gardens years ago.
Mad.
This is like college. So again, I've always
Big up Jim Vision.
always appreciated Gaff, always seen Gaff around. My dad and my mum always encouraged me with my art and drawing and stuff, but he will manipulate the environment. His letters will be hanging down, you know, it will be like will have one of his like letters might be curling onto the pavement. And I'd never seen stuff like that before.
That's crazy.
And I painted with him and Izzy at a spot, and we had to put our wellies on, you know, in the river. Like, but it's just what he does. He might just use like a bit of a pipe will come through his letters, but that makes the thing. The photo.
That's crazy.
So it's clever. It's really clever. So yeah, big up Sterling.
Yeah, the photos, the locations. I mean, these are all more, you know, things for the gram, innit? It's like a lot of influence that's coming out from just taking the photos and it's an obsession, isn't it? Like a sense of obsession with like there's a lot of graph online. You know, getting the picture out. It's almost as more important if you want than.
Yeah, I guess for some people. I mean, I actually remember Flickr. I think I've still got a Flickr account, and I remember like following Samer on that years ago. So yeah,
Tumblr and all that stuff.
yeah, it's old.
Yeah, dating us. Has it saved your life in many respects?
Graffiti will always save my life. Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Even my mum's even said to me, even when your world is complete rock bottom, you can always paint. And it's true.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it is true. It has saved my life.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hammering it at the minute, because I've come out the other side of a really shit 3 months. And now I'm just want to paint all the time.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had a lot of feeling going on in my heart that I just want to get out on the wall. That's what I said to you earlier. It's like an extension of yourself on a wall.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like, if it runs for a few days. Like, that's great. But if it lasts for a day, whatever. You know, I know what you're saying about the photo thing, but you know, sometimes it's nice to have like pieces that do run for a while. Like I was telling you prior, that wall me and Dice did, the Kirby wall, that run at Unigate
Big
for
up
ages.
Dice.
Yeah, big up Dice. That wall ran for ages, and it's nice to you know, for that to happen. But as long as I get my photo and I can look back and say, you know, nice.
Sometimes when a wall stays for too long, I always feel uncomfortable. Like, is anyone going to get rid of that?
Yeah, but painting and decorating. Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. Like, not that that's the reason, but you know, a lot of people just, you know, the turnaround sometimes can be really crazy.
Oh yeah, Stockwell. Jeez, I've had people stood behind me waiting for me to finish.
What?
Yeah, man. I do like Stockwell though. I've met some wicked people down there. And
That's liberties though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I don't know who it was, but I've that's happened to me before. And also, I've got good memories of Stockwell. That's the first time I painted with Wisha, actually. Big up Wisha.
yeah, big up Wisher.
That was Stockwell.
Yeah.
That was a really good day. That was really fun. I painted an outline that he did for me, but then I did like a character, and Spat was there, and yeah, it's one of those places, isn't it? You don't know quite who's going to be there.
Yeah.
You know Solo's going to be there.
You know Cope's going to be there.
Yeah, I got my Beyond the Streets book off of Cope, actually.
Yo, I need to get that bit on the street.
Yeah.
Jeez, where did you get that from?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's different podcast.
Yeah,
Big up Cope.
Yeah, big up Cope.
Big up Plug, actually, and Mirwell, right, as well.
Oh, I loved that Beyond the Streets show. It was wicked. It's really cool. Yeah, I love seeing it all, man.
Yeah, and it's things like that bring the scene together.
Two of my favourite parts of that, I've loved Pose, MSK.
Yeah.
Like, any of the MSK writers are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I really like
Hard.
the Lego, the Priest Corp,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
his
yeah.
stuff. Like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I was really happy, actually, because Arrow's daughter, she's got her gallery in Brighton,
That's right.
Helm.
What's the
Helm Gallery.
Yeah, big up Arrow. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
big up Arrow.
Helm
and,
Gallery, that's
I just
right.
remember seeing some Pose in there. I visited that last year, and it was wicked. Nice collection there.
Arrow's a beast.
Yeah, he's wicked.
Yeah, a beast. She's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's some real dons out there.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the most important thing? It doesn't have to be a particular writer, but what's the most important thing that you took away, maybe in the last couple of months, in terms of technique and developing, progressing? Any kind of tips that you...
I've got to shout out to Kesp on this one. My really, really good writer and a good pal. With 3D, making sure that you're going straight, not at an angle, but go straight. And I've started doing it, and it's cleaner. It looks more 3D. It's coming out the wall a bit more.
Nice.
Yeah, but obviously you can go at an angle if you feel like it. But now I'm just sort of doing my 3D like straight across. I just feel like it works for me.
Isn't it funny that you get into these habits, these funny habits, and it could be just for a small season. You realise that, oh yeah, they all kind of look like that, but I thought I was really doing something so different.
Just when sometimes you have another pair of eyes look at something, and it just makes you think about it differently, you know? Yeah.
It's
They might have
important.
noticed something that you didn't think of, or when you're so engrossed in a piece, you kind of get so in that zone and lost in it, and then someone will come along and go, oh yeah, I like that, but try this, and then you're like, oh shit.
Oh man. Too many times. But it's having the receptors and the graciousness of, like, you know, allowing for ideas to come through, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that anxiety of getting the wall done for the sake of it, and for everyone to stand back in complete mesmerising amazement, but then there's always critique. You can never not... There's always something better you can do, isn't there?
I guess so, but I always know if I start early and I paint till like you know, when I'm done, it's going to be a good wall.
What's the average then? What, like 2, 3, 4 hours?
So that wall that I did for Penn's Street Gallery recently, the
Yeah.
anime girl with
Yeah.
my letters, that was 10:30 till 5:30.
It's kind of I get
Yeah,
it.
so that was a shift, you know. Went and had got some lunch, whatever. But that was just me, and Mark Airborne was painting behind me, and that was a really good day. I just took my time with it, you know. Now we're in the winter, you know, you got to start early to get the daylight right. Sometimes I'll just meet my pals at like 10 till 4. I think I'll paint something better and that I'm happier with when I just take my time.
Yeah.
But that I can literally just knock something out in an hour or 45 minutes. It just depends, you know? So
Those bigger productions take a long time.
I like to paint stuff now that I'm really happy with. I like doing letters and a character.
Yeah, because you got into characters now. This is your
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, I love it. I really like painting the anime stuff. I think I'm going to run with that for a little bit. But hopefully I can get to a point where I can start painting my own characters and I'm not just copying other people's, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the goal.
yeah, totally. Any regrets thus far? I mean, it's only been 3 years since you started. Any regrets thus far?
I guess on a personal level, sometimes when I've not been myself and I've made plans to do things or paint and then I haven't been there, that's always something that kind of plays on my mind a little bit. But again, I don't hold that against myself. I was going through some shit, but now I'm back and I just want to paint all the time again. So that's my regret, really.
Really? Just not getting...
Just sometimes not turning up for things or, you know, having stuff going on where I couldn't be where I said I was going to be and that. Because, you know, I care about my friends and, my friends that I paint with and that are my friends, not just people I paint with. You know, I hang out with them as well and do other things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Life is about the learning, isn't it?
Definitely, man. It's been a bit of a roller coaster 2024, but, yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, it's very good to hear.
Thank
Very
you.
good to hear. Any shout-outs you want to give before we sign off this and blow this popsicle stand? Any shout-outs? I mean, you've been a lot of names we've been dropping. We'll pick them up later, but have you got any more?
Yeah, I want to shout out Izzy, Spat, Sama, Dime, RBF crew, my girls. I want to shout out LRS. I want to shout out THS. I want to shout out Emu. I want to shout out Cola, the last one, Rambo. I want to shout out Faith, James, and big up to you.
Yeah, hold tight.
So,
Hold tight. Enough respect, Wispa.
thank you.
Killa Kela podcast. Our in was out of fashion. This ain't going to be the last we hear from this lady. She's on it. She's on it like a car bonnet.
More like Sonic.
Yeah, on it like Sonic. Yeah, catching them rings. Listen, Outletting was out of fashion, all right? Remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they, all right? Don't talk to it and I wouldn't. You stay lucky, people. Easy.